This morning, we were treated to a sizzle reel of unreleased footage from Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Here's my breakdown, along with a few thoughts of my own. It opens with a shot of twin suns. We are then treated to a collection of moments from throughout the prequel, original, and sequel trilogies. As this is happening, a voiceover by Luke Skywalker says, "We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight." After that sequence, we see a familiar shot of Rey, Finn, Poe, Chewie, and C-3PO on an unknown desert planet. The camera then flips behind them and shows them overlooking a thriving desert town. We can also see Leia on what appears to be a lush jungle planet. Then numerous Resistance fighters and frigates are seen jumping out of hyperspace. After this, we see a dark sky illuminated by flashes of lightning. In the darkness, we see what appears to be hundreds of Imperial Star Destroyers. We also see Finn and a new female character in the cockpit of a starship. Then we see C-3PO with bright red eyes gazing up at something. This is followed by a scene of a powerful red laser beam tearing up the surface of a rocky planet. Then we can see Rey throwing her lightsaber, chopping down several trees. The lightsaber returns to her hand. We can then see Kylo Ren walking away from his ship as lightning flashes behind him. Still walking away from his ship, he ignites his lightsaber, and we hear Sidious say, "Your journey." We then cut to a shot of Kylo Ren and Rey fighting furiously on the wreckage of the Death Star. A black screen is next, and Sidious finishes his sentence with, "Nears its end." So the whole sentence says, "Your journey nears its end." Then we hear a faint sound of Vader breathing. Finally, Rey ignites a strange double-bladed lightsaber which folds out to look like Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. The blades are red. So there is a lot to unpack here. I'm just going to go scene by scene and give my thoughts. So the first shot is very similar to the one in the first teaser trailer, except in that case they were looking over an ocean at the wreckage of the Death Star. In this case, they are looking over a huge desert town with people everywhere. But they are still together on a separate planet, so it reinforces the theory that they'll all be teaming up to go look for something throughout the movie. I assume that Leia is on Endor, considering how green the planet is, and its connection to the Death Star too. If the Death Star shown in the footage is indeed the second Death Star, which I believe it is. Not much else to say here. Next, the Resistance ships. There are B-Wings, X-Wings, and maybe a few A-Wings. There's also another larger frigate and a ship that looks like the Tantive 4. Now onto the Star Destroyers. I gotta say, the cinematography is incredible. A dark sky lit up by lightning revealing hundreds of dagger-shaped Star Destroyers. That's so awesome. It's also interesting that these are Imperial Star Destroyers and not First Order ones. Because of that, I would guess they belong to Darth Sidious, but you never know. I don't really have anything to say about Finn and the female character. I think she is a previously known cast member, but I don't remember who she is playing. Then C-3PO with red eyes. What's that about? I have no idea. I rewatched it over and over and saw, when Rey throws her lightsaber, what looks like a training droid, like the one Luke trains with in A New Hope. So it looks like she is practicing her saber skills, which is cool. Kylo Ren does not look happy as he walks away from his TIE fighter and ignites his lightsaber. I freaked out when I heard Sidious talk, and I'm so excited to see what J.J. Abrams will do with his character. The next scene is Kylo and Rey fighting on what is obviously the wreckage of the Death Star. I mean, it's in water, there are waves, and you can see a turbo laser battery to the left. Then, of course, the black screen and Sidious completing his sentence, "Your journey nears its end." And the most shocking scene, Rey with a double-bladed red lightsaber. I noticed it's not two separate lightsabers joining into one. It's two hilts connected side by side as you can see, when she ignited them. Then you can see it folds outward on a hinge between the two hilts. This is a lightsaber design that we have never really seen before. The most similar one I can think of is the Jedi Temple Guard lightsaber. As for why she is holding a red saber, here's a few possibilities. Number one is she's turned to the dark side, which considering her character arc is unlikely. 2, It is a weapon of a fallen opponent, either a Knight of Ren or a Sith Trooper or some similar dark side acolyte, that she must wield to defend herself. 3. She is possessed by Darth Sidious. This is the most likely scenario. If you look closely, her eyes look kind of vacant, suggesting it is not her looking out of them, but rather Sidious. Notably, her eyes are not yellow, providing more evidence that she has not turned to the dark side. It's impossible to know her location in this scene, but you can see rusted metal in the background, which suggests she is inside the Death Star. Well, that's all for my breakdown of the new footage that was released at D23. Apologies for any of the words that I mess up or how fast I talk. I'm trying to get this out before I have to go somewhere. So I did it really fast. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of the new footage. A normal episode will follow this week with the new format. So I hope you enjoy. See you next time. May the Force be with you, always.